Welcome to Kitchen Counseling. I'm Chef Tom. I'm your motorcycle riding holistic chef. Now today's episode is a little bit of a remembrance for me and a throwback to my early years and a shout out to all my friends in Oklahoma when I was living there. This was a recipe that we all put together. I don't even know who actually did it and who put it together originally, but this was called Cheesy Taters. And the way this usually went down was we all worked together, and on the weekends we would all meet over at somebody's house, and we pretty much stayed over there all weekend. And we played cards, and we drank and smoked and did everything, and we had a big barbecue at one point in the evening, and we usually had some nice big old ribeye steaks and some sauteed mushrooms and the cheesy taters. So I've decided that in honor of all my friends, this is all for all of you out there that we did these weekends together, Rick, Claudia, Steve and Robert and Linda and Jim and Jay. This one's for you. We're going to do some cheesy taters for these folks, and we're going to show them how we did it up when we were young, all right? So the first step in this process, this is a great recipe. It's super easy, super tasty. Not necessarily the healthiest, but can't have healthy all the time anyway. That's something about the moderation, all right? So let me get my potatoes. And I'm going to spin this down on the counter here so you can see what I got going, and I'm going to walk you through this. So we've just got ourselves a cookie sheet. I've lined it with some foil. We're going to make like a little blanket. I've cut up 3 pounds of potatoes in a French fry style cut. These are russet potatoes. So we're just going to layer those on the bottom. Just like so. If it's too much for the foil, I can always add another piece of foil. We're going to basically make a blanket. All right. Then we are going to add some garlic salt. Now these are potatoes. They can handle the salt. We want a little bit of the garlic flavor too. So we're just going to kind of cover the whole thing. Probably about a couple tablespoons of garlic salt would do it for you. And then let me get this out of the way here. Then I've got 1 onion cut up. I'm just going to put all that on there. And even for the folks that don't like onions, this one's getting cooked. It's going to cook for an hour. It really breaks it down. It's nice and sweet. My friend Robert is not a big onion fan. He doesn't like onions, but he would eat these cheesy taters. All right, Robert, wouldn't you? Go for it. All right, so we have the onion. And then I've got about 8 ounces of sliced mushrooms. You can use any kind of mushrooms you want. I've got some baby bellas tonight. You can use the white mushrooms or whatever you can find in the store. We're going to just cover all that up. And then, oh, I forgot my jalapenos. And then just some sliced jalapenos. Jarred sliced jalapenos. You can make them mild, hot, whatever's the best, whatever you like the best. I like just to put a few around. It doesn't have to be covered, but just a few all over. And then what I like with the jarred ones is I actually put a little bit of the juice in there. It gives it a little bit of flavor. And it's going to cook on up. And then the last step in this process, we're going to take a stick of butter. And we're just going to cut it in pats and cover the whole thing. If I can get it to cut, there we go. There we go. Now we got it going here. So we're going to just layer these all on here. So this is 4 ounces of butter, 1 stick. Just enough so that it has, enough pats around that when it starts to melt, it kind of covers and seeps into everything. That's what we're looking for. There we go, just like that. Sometimes I'll add a little bit more if I don't feel like it has enough on it. That actually looks pretty good, so we're gonna leave that alone. And then we're gonna wrap it. The cheesy part comes later. So this is a little bit fat. So when I do this, I haven't given myself enough room to wrap. We get another little piece of foil. We lay that on top, and then we just wrap that up. We're kind of doing a little steam job here. The baking sheet will help catch anything that might drip out. And that is it. That's our baby. I'm gonna put it in the oven. We're gonna cook that on 400 degrees for 1 hour. All right, so I'm just gonna leave it in there. We're gonna let it do its thing. The cheese part comes next. So when we get done with that, then I'm gonna throw in the cheese part. So I'm gonna make you wait on that one. So we'll go ahead and get this one done, get it cooked up. Then we'll throw the cheese in. We'll finish off the whole process, and then that is gonna be the cheesy taters. So we will be back in 1 hour. All right, we're back. It's 1 hour later. We're gonna pull this out of the oven. I can't wait. I can smell it here. Just hold on a second. Let me grab this from the oven. And we're gonna spin you down so you can see what I got going on here on the stovetop. So here is our little blanket. Be careful when you open this. It's gonna have some steam coming out. Don't wanna burn yourself. So you're basically just opening this up because now we're gonna add the cheese. And you say, well, you didn't tell us what kind of cheese we're using. Now look at all that mushrooms and the jalapenos and the butter's all melted in there. We got the garlic salt all throughout. And then we're gonna add 2 pounds of Velveeta cheese. Now, if you're healthy and you don't wanna do this, that's up to you. This, like I said, is a tribute to my young adulthood, meeting up with some really good friends and having some good times, and this was one of the things that we shared during those times. Goes back to our family, friends, fun, and food. I've been playing that song all my life. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna turn the oven off. We don't need it on heat no more. We're gonna just layer this cheese on here. We're gonna stick it back in the oven because it's still hot. I'm gonna stick it back in the oven and just let the cheese melt. 10 minutes. And when we take it out, we're gonna have our cheesy taters. There we go. So we just wrap this baby back up carefully. Make sure we kind of get that crimped back in there, because now with the cheese in there, it's where it could get really messy when you take it out. We're just trying to capture it all right now. So that's it. Oven's turned off. We're just throwing it back in the hot oven. Whoa, I got stuck there. There we go. We're throwing it back in there for 10 minutes. I'll set the timer for 10. We'll be back in 10. We'll see what it looks like, and then we'll have a little bite. Check it out. All right? Be back in a minute. And we're back. It's 10 minutes later. Now let's check these things out. Let's spit it down so you can check them out. Cheesy Taters. And they are all so good. So again, just a little tribute to my youth, my good friends, some of them that are still around: Claudia, Steve, Robert, Jay, Linda. We had some good times back then, and it's carried us forward. This might not have been the most healthiest thing in the world to eat, but it bonded us. And so I want you to have those kind of relationships and those kind of experiences for yourself. So that's what this one's all about. Love you all. Remember my 4 F's: family, friends, fun, and food. Like us Facebook. Subscribe to YouTube channel. Check out the end of the information at the end of the show here for all of the streaming services and anything else you need from me. Give me a call. We'll see you on down the road. Bye.